Mr. Bricado once said to me in a suggestion of an essay, "Don't worry about the grades, just write what you feel and you'll be fine." Little did he know those words stuck out to me till now, 9 months later. My first extra essay was a complete and utter failure. I didn't write a memoir about my experiences in this excruciating world and how these moments shaped who I am today. Instead, I wrote about the single word of comfort. Though it is a very important term in my mind, my essay format was off, leading to an automatic deduction from the start. So when Mr. Bricado explained to me how writing about personal experiences and my grief could shape my writing ability, I took upon that challenge. I rambled about mostly sorrowful experiences growing up, and then some pure joy too. Suddenly, writing extra essays was something I looked forward to and was quite fond of. And though my topics were quite repetitive, I always found a way to look deeper within specific moments and found the distress I had been holding in. Struggling with dyslexia is not always the easiest while going into an honors level classroom. Reading was never my favorite up until my 8th grade year, as I would try to avoid the topic every day during class. I had a tutor up until the 6th grade where she believed my reading and writing skills were close enough to average, and I would be able to be set free and learn to compensate on my own. Walking into this classroom, I was beyond scared for the thick and comprehensive books that would be given to us, having to read them in a short period of time and write essays upon essays of the morals and our beliefs. But as The Catcher in the Rye came along, though I was not exactly the biggest fan of the story, I actually enjoyed spending time annotating and writing short reflections on my own, describing my thoughts throughout the book. It wasn't as much as a trouble as I would believed it would be, even though my test grade wasn't quite to my true potential. Along with having to read the classic Catcher in the Rye story, we also took on the challenge of Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar. My frustration grew within this class as I found it would take me over 10 minutes just to finish one page, along with deep annotations of the subject and what I believed was going on. I never picked up the language as well as I hoped and didn't find much interest in trying to understand the significance of each character. My confidence in my reading and writing capabilities slowly fell towards the ground as my peers were understanding the relevance of the story in a much quicker manner than I was. I found that my coping mechanism of writing no longer helped me as much, as my worries revolved mainly around this specific story and not the essays I was performing outside of it. And though I wasn't even close to failing this class, it still felt as if I hit rock bottom. Now, along with the additional essays and reading assignments, the task of keeping a journal was given to us at the start of first quarter. Though many found this a repetitive and non-effective task, this is truly where my coping within writing came to be. I learned that instead of keeping everything inside, I could ramble it down on paper as a form of therapeutic writing. This helped with many emotional bumps in the road, along with the organization of planning out my work throughout the day. Writing in this journal became a ritual I completed every night before I went to bed. And I once talked about the idea of repetitive silence in an extra essay. Well, this is a positive side to that definition. Over and over again, I wrote my thoughts and worries down on a blank piece of paper, having only the sound of a scribbling pen running out of ink. This was a euphoric feeling I look forward to every day once a thought scrambled up within my mind. This was my coping mechanism, and I never wished for that to change, as now I have learned the importance of staying in tune within my own mind. The stories I made back in elementary school didn't teach me what it would be like to be an honors English student. They didn't teach me how to write an informational essay or a short poem I would repeat in front of the class. In fact, those stories took away the importance of writing, as I would be ignoring my own entity while trying to make myself someone else's. I never looked deep down into the brain of Arya Han up until my freshman year in this Honors English 117 classroom, and that affected me greatly. In this class, with this teacher, if you are lucky enough, you will find your joy and peace of mind. You will become stressed and you will become frustrated, but you will also become a bigger person. One that is capable of defeating even the lengthiest of essays or time-consuming reading assignments. While looking back throughout the year, perhaps I couldn't seem to write an essay about the word comfort because I didn't find the meaning yet. Perhaps I thought I did, but truly what I found was a scramble for hope and longing to be comforted. So as I sit on one of the last days in this classroom, I finally can write about how that word, that one silly word, has affected me now. Because in this room, my words are comforted, not just by the walls surrounding the desks, but also by the people slunched inside of them. And Mr. Picado, I hope you know I tried not to worry about the grades, even with how hard that may have been. Instead, I found a way to understand my feelings that had been lost in a scramble of insignificant expressions within my mind.